Hello. Hello everyone, my name is Kajori Kudo and welcome back to Path to Nowhere. And we are going to continue with the last part of the event. Yeah. Welcome to Rie, Reggie, Orde, and Julian. I think today is going to be like super short because we actually already like go for 80% of the story. So it's going to be like the remaining of 20%. Wait, give me a second. My cat just passed me on the past the front screen. Could you please not sit there? Go. Where do you want to go? Go to the bed. Okay. Right, give me a second. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna ignore it. As long as he doesn't shit on my bed. Usually she's sleeping. Like now she just wide awake. Okay. All right. So, let's continue with the last part. So previously on the last stream, it was revealed that the tragedy of the red, is it like the red burning wood, the burning wood, was an actual case in East Side, which is being covered. And then I think Clementine kind of like make confession that she's the one who did it, which is I'm still a bit confused, like why she did it. Like did she really actually burn the orphanage and all? So yeah, but the thing is like she doesn't know about her novel. She doesn't know what she want to put the ending is, which is why the final manuscript of her novel, which is the thing that she's been giving to us to figure it out, actually has no ending. So Chief being Chief as usual, that okay, you know what, I'm gonna write the ending, and this is what the last part is going to be. Of course, we know that probably the ending gonna be like she's going to go to jail. Like, come on, what else? Your ending is you're gonna get arrested. That is like the most easiest one. Chat, I want to ask, I turned on my laptop and it won't turn on, and I plugged the charger and I found out the battery is 0, but I never use it these few days. Am I going to be okay? I'm not sure. If there's anyone that knows, there's like a laptop doctor, in a sense, please let Julian know what happened with the laptop. Is it maybe it's not charging? Sometimes the problem is the charger because it's not charging, or maybe the battery is just too old. Is it like one-time occurrence or is it often? Because if always happens, then chances are then it's not okay. Like he swatted Nino. Swatted Nino. Right, he swatted. Yeah, right. He swatted Nino last time on the stream. Dun dun dun. Okay, so here we go. We are back to the imagination of the novel. So does it confirm already that mean like the killer is the 4 of them? You know, that's my suspicion. You know, I think they take turn to stab Clementine. The ending is really good to prepare for emotional damage. I cried when I read the final note of the passengers. So the passengers probably also real people, aren't they? The whistle blows once more. The steam train hurtles through the night, heading towards its final destination. No matter what transpires within its carriages, it will not slow or stop, not even for a moment. The first-class passengers gather in the dining car. The whisper have ceased. Each person sits there, burdened with their own thoughts. They are all waiting for one final person to arrive. My apologies for keep you waiting. No one speaks. Silence hangs heavy in the air like a blade that poised to fall. Every pair of eyes is locked onto you, waiting for the gavel to strike. Time is short, so I will cut to the chase. Let's settle this quickly. Today, or rather last night, a brutal murder took place aboard the Brava. Who killed her and why? We must uncover the truth before this train reaches its destination. Your gaze sweeps across the room before settling on an elderly woman with white hair. The crime scene was locked from the inside. For this reason, Mrs. Jones, your room is the only path that could lead to it at the time. Every passenger's gaze turns toward the elderly Mary Jones. The man leaning against the bar seems lost in thought for a moment, then speaks up.
But the fatal wound on the victim's chest is extremely deep. An elderly woman hardly has the strength for that.
You're right. Mrs. Jones wouldn't have the strength to inflict such a deep wound, which means someone else must have slipped into her room. Like a certain train attendant who carelessly left behind a button, for example. The train attendant, Allison, shrinks back a step, but before you can press further, William interjects.
But there's another uniform in your room.
Yes, I initially suspected Miss Allison. That is until I discovered another train attendant uniform on this train, as well as a spare master key. Then, who else was present that night? Who else could have entered room 103 when the crime occurred? Mr. William, could it have been you?
I saw Mr. William in the corridor. He had just finished fixing the circuit breaker. It couldn't possibly have been him.
That's also right, and it's not just Mr. William. Everyone in the first class compartment has an alibi. Which means there's only one possibility left. You are all working together! Last night, an intruder boarded the first class carriage and murdered the victim amidst the darkness. You pause. Everyone holds their breath, waiting for you to continue. The old woman hesitantly asks,
You mean the killer is no longer on the train?
why YouTube have ads in the middle of the stream now? Because YouTube's actually... You're right, Reggie. Isn't it like they... what do they do? Like ad blocker is not working anymore in YouTube. I always get ads all the time. Even though I have like ad blocker on my web this day. Alison finally lets out a sigh of relief, and the tension in the compartment eases. You look around at each face. Some show relief, while others are tinged with melancholy. Then you slowly continue. No, the killer must still be aboard the Brava.
What?
Whoa, look at the granny. That is like really badass. The Brava is traveling at speeds of up to 100 kilometers per hour. If the killer had truly jumped off, they would be dead by now. No sane person would choose to do such a thing. Moreover, there's a far more reasonable explanation for all of this, isn't there? For instance, what if there was more than one killer from the very beginning? The dim yellow light in the carriage reflects the shock and fear on every face, capturing those emotions and trapping them there like amber. No one dares to move, no one dares to look away. They stare at the detective like prisoners awaiting judgment, eyes fixed on the judge's lips. The burning redwood is a reference to a fire in the past, the one that happened to the Redwood orphanage. This was the only part of the letter that the victim tore out. She loved danger and craft thrills, but there is one thing she didn't want the detective to discover, which is the fact that the victim herself was the one responsible for the Redwood fire. She was the target of the killer's vengeance. Then, who is the killer? Who is most likely to be seeking vengeance for Redwood on this train? We use the damage watch, which has stopped at 1:05, to establish the time at which the crime took place. But what if everything that happened afterward was a lie? What if it was all just staged to mislead us? Eliminate all impossibility, and whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. Now, let us make an even bolder hypothesis. The truth has been right in front of us all along. We've all been deceived. The real crime occurred long before any of this chaos began. Let's go back to last night, around 10 o'clock. The victim and the detective bid each other goodnight. Then, they turned off the lights and went to sleep. Around 11:45, the power supply to the first-class carriage stopped once again for unknown reasons. The compartment was plunged into darkness. Someone stepped out of their compartment and shut off the circuit breaker. Oh, give me a second. Ah. Okay, my cat is out now. Alright, where were we? Someone stepped out of their compartment and shut off the circuit breaker, creating the condition for the crime. However, they accidentally smeared the paint on the breaker onto their hand. To ensure that the victim would remain completely unconscious, someone had slipped an overdose of sleeping pills into her nightcap beforehand. She had been furious about the scheduling error. It was precisely this mistake that brought someone who was never supposed to be in the first-class carriage there. In other words, me. But it didn't matter. The plan can still be salvaged. After all, they only needed to avoid the suits parlor where I was. And so the culprits gathered and made their way to room 103, which was connected to the victim's room. Their grandma? When they got there, the door to room 103 had already been opened for them. It's very clever, really. After all, who would ever suspect a senile, frail old woman? Me? Like in the very beginning? We are dealing with a lot of old women. The fire didn't kill everyone. There was far more than one survivor from Redwood. They had planned their vengeance, which is why they all gathered aboard the Brava. The midnight bell is about to ring. They who thirst for vengeance have gathered. After all these years, they can finally grab the knife. Whoa. And kill the true culprit with their own hands. And with this, the truth finally comes to light. This was an organized crime born in the name of vengeance. The victims of the Redwood orphanage worked together and finally succeeded in killing the criminal who had escaped the punishment of law. The train continues onward through the night, but the expression on the passenger faces are no longer the same. Lowered head lift, trembling hands turn still. No one refutes your words, and no one speaks to beg forgiveness. They simply stare at you in silence. Many things dwell in those gazes: surprise, fear, anxiety, relief, exhaustion, and a trace of stubbornness and madness that could almost be called pride. As the only outsider in first class, you could have pinned all the suspicion on me, or weave countless lies to obstruct my investigation. But you didn't. Instead, you hid all the clues between your words. Redwood, the orphanage, and every person who died in that fire. Even now you are waiting for me to uncover the truth. Just as the one who wrote you. The lights turned hazy. The outlines of tables and cups began to blur. The people who sat there mere moments ago fade from your sight one by one, like words on a page that are slowly being washed away by rain. Until only one person remains at the far end of the dining car.
Most impressive. When did you figure it out?
Revenge was a popular theme for a time before Nightfall. There's a community of detective novel enthusiasts on the dark web forum who've been railing against you for ages now. Besides, you barely modified the story at all. It was far too easy to recognize.
I see. It seems I wasn't careful enough then. Congratulations, detective. You've uncovered every secret in the book and unraveled every truth. Now you can finally...
No,
Hmm?
the story isn't over yet. The truth I see goes beyond this. The story of Preva might have concluded, but the same cannot be said about the one outside the book. Who exactly are you? Why did you write this book? These questions have troubled me for a while, and only now do I finally have the answer. The third answer, hidden away within this story. That's right. Anyone could be the killer. Anyone could be lying. The thrill of exposing lies can cloud one's judgment, causing them to overlook the fact that there is still one final deception in the story. Clementine. The story of Redwood hasn't ended. It's still unfolding. This is the final truth you've concealed, your true purpose in writing the story of the Preva. This book itself is your vengeance. Wait, what? Okay, let's continue. The rules of detective novels. 1. The culprit must be someone who appeared in the story, all the while being someone beyond the reader's expectations. Murder on the Preva Express is a story of a hatred and fury. It mirrors reality, exposing the truth behind the Redwood fire, and serves as retribution against the arsonist. Who is the arsonist? I don't know. But while thinking about this, I noticed a contradiction in everything you've said. Why are you so obsessed with all the marketing hype? 2. The detective must not solve the case through supernatural or bizarre methods. A thrilling experience that mirrors reality. The victim is the author herself. Serialized chapters to build anticipation. According to you, everything you did was for publicity. Yet in your book, those who boarded the Preva seeking vengeance feel so vivid and lovable. You showed them compassion and pity. That doesn't read like you were exploiting their suffering for fame and fortune. In that case, why did you name the victim after yourself? 3. The crime scene must not have more than one secret room or passageway. Who does the victim Clementine represent? And if such a person exists, why not reveal their actual name? Perhaps you don't know who that person is, or perhaps every person who tried to expose that name has already been silenced. So the author Clementine created a fictional setting, separate from this city, and changed the arsonist's name to evade censorship, because only then could the story be published. But then, what's the point of going through all the trouble just to publish this story? The detective must not solve cases through coincidence or unfounded intuition, nor through clues that were never revealed to the reader. And the answer is to expose someone who escaped the hammer of justice long ago. Someone even the chief of MBCC will have trouble investigating. This book exists to make more people see it, to get more people to talk about it. If the truth has been concealed and twisted, then you simply need to get everyone involved. The public will be the one to pass judgment. It's like, in a way, like cancel culture, don't you think? Maybe Clementine is the granddaughter, the sister and the ex who burned the Redwood accidentally? Who knows? That is interesting, but the thing is like, I don't think Eisner will put any playable character to have like a canon partner even in the past. That's probably like the only thing that maybe gonna put as argument, but it's still possible. Maybe it is. At the same time, this ensures that the true culprit will also see it. 5. The detective must not be the criminal. I need playable character have canon partner, like it will be fun. But that's like gacha game 101. It's always for the either the self-insert or the fan fiction, something like that, so they can free make whatever they want. The arsonist is protected, hidden in darkness, only striking when someone tries to expose the truth. You never wrote for money. What you seek is worth far more. Using a fictional train as a disguise, a victim bearing the author's name as your hook, you wrote about a tragedy that truly occurred in Eastside. Clementine, you are Redwood's last chance at revenge. You are using yourself as bait to draw out the true culprit, aren't you? Oh, so she's not the one that did the arson. You and Clementine lock eyes for a long moment. Finally, she smiles.
Oh my.
She begins to clap slowly. The sound echoes clearly in the study.
As expected of the MBCC chief, your insight is as sharp as I expected, and you truly are an impressive person. The clues, the motives, and even those deliberately overlooked gaps, you caught them all. I have nothing to add. It's my loss. You have my complete acknowledgement.
So you really are a survivor of that fire. Which Clementine? The mystery you've been pursuing from the start has finally been answered, yet it brings you no comfort. After all, far more questions remain unanswered. Behind those concealed and altered records, what really happened to Redwood Orphanage? What exactly happened after that fire?
You already know the answer, don't you?
Who's the culprit? That is what someone that I want to know. Like, if he had such power that he can cover it up. Clementine's voice remains calm. One would think she's only recounting someone else's past.
Redwood was an orphanage. It took in children who had no home and sheltered adults with nowhere else to go. For everyone there, Redwood was the only place where they belonged. But then, in just a single night, everyone died, and our home was gone. Everything changed after that. After the fire, people were sympathetic at first, but that quickly turned into rumors, conspiracy theories, as well as endless speculation. The survivors were dragged out again and again to be scrutinized and questioned. It's like they were convinced that the world could return to peace so long as the blame was pinned on us.
So there is more than one survivor?
Our benefactors vanished. The insurance company refused to pay, claiming the fire was caused by improper conduct, and therefore they could not compensate us. As for the sheriff who was first assigned to investigate, he was a good man, but he didn't get far. He was quickly dismissed over some trivial matter and barred from the case entirely.
Clementine pulls out a folder from a drawer beneath the table and hands it to you. You open it to find handwritten records documenting the Redwood fire. This is
the original crime scene investigation record, before it was altered. The very first draft.
Can this note be used as evidence to reopen the investigation? Clementine offered a faint smile. The answer to your question, you realize, is painfully obvious.
Of course. We tried to appeal, but every complaint we filed went unanswered. And the investigation into the fire was shut down, swept under the rug. Eventually, Redwood's very existence was dismissed as nothing more than some ridiculous urban legend. That's when we all realized none of this was a coincidence.
She lowers her gaze, her gloved fingertips tracing the words on the page.
The one who left that cigarette butt erased the evidence, twisted the truth, and hid behind their power, clearing themselves of any sin.
Which is why you write. This was the only way for you to expose the truth. The culprit hides behind layers of power and privilege. They only act when they need to conceal information about the fire. This is the truth Clementine seeks to expose. If the law won't hold them accountable, then public opinion will. But what if it doesn't work? What if they see the public outcry and simply choose not to act? Then, you stop mid-sentence. There's something in Clementine's expression as she looks at you. In that moment, a different possibility dawns on you.
I think the fact that you were sent here says enough. Wouldn't you agree?
It was the complaint letter. The intelligence department traced the letter back to a public IP in his site. We couldn't identify the sender. Now I see why. Your arrival here was no coincidence. Clementine knew her plan had worked the moment you walked through that door. If reality forbids her from speaking plainly, then she will speak through stories, even if her voice is silenced. She needs only to preserve the evidence in ink. Her vengeance began the moment her first novel was published. At this point, it's already too late for anyone to stop it. But what happens after that? After you find the arsonist, then what? What are you planning to do? Stab them 12 times like in Preyeva? What if they come after you first? If they have connection within the Public Security Bureau, they can easily find out everything about you. Using yourself as bait like this is far too dangerous.
What else am I supposed to do?
Clementine cuts you off. Her voice remains calm, though you catch a faint trace of sorrow beneath it.
If everything in this book is real, if one day the law fails to punish the wicked, and there's no one left to uphold justice, if someone is denied every avenue of appeal and chooses to seek retribution through such extreme methods.
That's actually something that I will do. If law doesn't work, then there is no law. So let's just kill them.
Would you shield us? Or would you uphold the law and see to it that we face the consequences we deserve?
I won't interfere. Lynching will only make things worse. Be honest, I won't interfere. The MBCC only handles threats involving sinners and mania. Other cases fall outside my jurisdiction. So, whatever you choose to do, I will not interfere. No, this is like my heart. And if you still can't let this go, then I want you to wait for me at the very least. I feel like, do you remember, it kind of remind me, do you remember Demon Interrogation, where the part where it was revealed that the judge actually know that Demon's sister is already dead long time ago, and then Demon suddenly like just charging in and kill the judge and Chief doesn't do anything? This is my speculation. Chief basically at the time, Chief said like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't, I wasn't ready to hold him, to prevent him for killing the judge." But my speculation is, what if Chief actually led Demon to kill the judge? That is my speculation. So that is why in this kind of scenario, I'm gonna just like, hey, you want to kill that person? Kill it, mate. I won't interfere. I think it makes sense. I'll do it because we already come to a point that we would kill for our daughter. Okay, we will kill Adelaide. We punch him when he's in the bed in the hospital. So there is no more sane Chief in this case. That is basically my version of Chief. So yeah, that is my defense. There is only so much I can do as the chief of the MBCC, but I know plenty of people from all walks of life who will be willing to help. Now that I know the truth, I'm certain they won't hesitate to lend a hand. I'll investigate this with you. We will find the person responsible and make them answer for what they've done. We can be the voice for those who were denied the justice they deserve. And if you can't hold yourself back when we find them, feel free to rough them up a little. You recall a time when you, too, were overtaken by anger, leaving a certain blonde Fraser individual with more than a few bruises around their eyes. This is what I mean. Exactly. Wait, give me a second. Okay, by the way, my cat is in the room again. Why are you so noisy today? Huh? Just get inside the bed. No. Okay, just sit there, okay? I thought Chief, as president, Chief did a war crime for his daughter. It's not like I've never done something like that. I will keep it between us. Oh! Okay, I think she's going to get inside the blanket. Give me a second. Okay, now, finally, good. She went to sleep. Okay, where were we? It's not like I've never done something like that. I will keep it between us. You can see Clementine's surprise in her eyes, followed by a trace of melancholy. Then, as you make that final remark, she could not help but laugh.
Good deeds are rewarded, and evil receives its due. If only a world like that exists outside of stories.
We will make it a reality. So, promise me you won't do anything reckless. There is no need to stain your hands.
Thank you, Chief.
Clementine offers a gentle smile.
What I hoped for when I wrote those words was that perhaps one day, outside the pages of a story, I'd hear someone say them in the real world, too. I hope that this time, justice will really come.
The clock chimes. It's nearly midnight. Your terminal rings at the same time. Chief, the intelligence department has tracked down a new lead. Based on the name Inspector Doyle provided, we've identified a sheriff who once handled the Redwood case before being transferred to a satellite town. He recently retired and returned to this city. The address has been confirmed. We can move at any moment. Good. Wait for me. I will handle this personally. Will Chief start war again for his beloved one? Of course he is. When you look back up, you find Clementine watching you quietly, as if she already knows what you're about to say. I have to go. And Julie just came in. I found a sheriff who handled the case. With him in the picture, we might be able to track down the bastard behind all this. Every investigation is a race against time. I've got to take my leave now. But before I go, you reach out and raise your pinky finger. Oh, pinky finger. Let's make a promise. Remember the promise between the detective and Clementine in your book? Those 3 articles? You're standing in the spotlight, but your enemy is hiding in the shadows, ready to put you in danger at any moment. The team I'm leaving behind will protect you. Your safety matters more than anything else. I will bring you the result of the investigation by tomorrow morning, so I want you to trust me. At least, wait for me to come back. A finger hooks onto your pinky and gently shakes it.
All right. I trust you.
She seems very sweet now. She releases your hand and steps closer, gathering all of her manuscript and placing them into the folder you are holding.
You've gathered all the clues. You'll be fine, even without me. There's no point in my keeping this. Consider it your reward for clearing the challenge.
With all her lies cast aside, her expression softens. You can't help but imagine that perhaps at some point in the past, this is what Clementine was like, when she still lived in Redwood. But the past is the past. You need to live now. There is much to be done. Filing clues, deploying personnel to reopen the investigation, and so on. A long list of tasks awaits you. But just as you are about to leave, you can't help but call out her again. What about the other survivor besides you? Those characters in your books, are they also real? Did they really kill people just like in the stories? Clementine pauses for a moment, but she quickly puts on a smile.
Did you look into it? You couldn't find anything, could you? It's only natural. They're just characters I made up after all.
But Forensica is real though. Clementine smiles, but it only makes you uneasy.
Don't worry, I intend to keep our promise. As I said, the book was nothing more than a work of fiction from the very start.
Not real, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure it was real also. Forensica is already real. Forensica is evidence that they are real.
As for who the real culprit is, and how they should be punished, I'll leave that to you.
You feel a pull on your wrist. Someone draws you forward, and then something soft brushes tenderly against your ear. A gentle kiss lands near your ear. Oh! Why so suddenly?
Thank you. I'm glad. In the end, someone understood my true story.
Why? Why, Chief? I'm so jealous. If one of his daughter will be in danger, Chief will just say, "Catherine, do you wanna have some fun?" And she immediately will mobilize entire army. The door closes. Clementine figure disappears behind it.
Goodbye, my dear detective.
Wait, what? Why goodbye though? What are you gonna do? Why you say goodbye? That doesn't sound good. Don't do anything reckless, that's the promise. What this one is pretty
And now,
strong.
we enter the final chapter. And now, we enter the final chapter.
Plum branch snapped, jade shattered. Cleanse this world with this power.
And now, we enter the final chapter. And now, we enter the final chapter.
Plum branch snapped, jade shattered.
All shall grovel to your mountain lord.
Okay, calm down. It's just a kiss on the ear. No, a kiss is a kiss. Nobody will do the murder. Her voice sounds so familiar. Is it? Who? The book don't remember Catherine. Redwood Orphanage Fire Report, September 13, NF-105. The fire originated from the east stairwell, the building's primary escape route. A cigarette butt was recovered from the debris in the hallway and is suspected to be the actual cause of ignition, so it's like an accident. That night, due to the building's windows circulating air from outside, the fire rapidly spiraled out of control. The main evacuation route was also blocked by flames, and because the incident occurred late at night, the critical window for early detection and suppression was missed. In total, 8 children and 1 caretaker from Redwood Orphanage were confirmed dead. Now that I look at it, like I actually don't hate the first suspect. Did anyone save the threads discussing murder on the Preva Express? I wasn't done reading yet, but then they all vanished when I refreshed. What's going on? Blocked by the moderator. Oh no, the analysis thread I saved are gone too. Someone just said their main account got reported and banned after sharing related content. Pretty sure the most are doing a purge. Ah, fuck. The invisible hand is making its move. Even the first few chapters of Preva are gone from the official site now. If they are trying so hard to censor this, then it must be real. I've seen something like this before. Is some big shot actually freaking out? You put down your terminal and meet up with Nightingale and the RS squad. Posts are being mass deleted online. Whoever's behind this is making their move. This is very quick. This is a rare opportunity, so don't do anything that will alert the culprit. Contact Doyle and tell him I've obtained new evidence. Let's see if we can get him to investigate from inside the Public Security Bureau one more time. Eastside elites tend to shield each other. Pull one thread and the whole web unravels. This investigation is going to be tough. It's okay, we have Doyle on our side. This case falls outside MBCC jurisdiction. You will need to quietly pull a few strings if this investigation is to get anywhere. Fortunately, you've been involved in countless incidents over the years and have built up quite a network across various fields as a result. Meanwhile, the cordon outside Clementine's residence is lifted. Thank goodness nothing went wrong. Surprisingly, she was pretty cooperative this time. You lead the team toward the car, but pause at the corner to look back at the building. The corridor lights have already gone dark, the curtains drawn tight. There is no sign of movement, only the study remains lit. A fake shadow lingers by the window. You can't tell if someone is standing there or if it's just the curtain casting a shadow in the light. You stand there, staring for a while before turning to get into the car. Nothing else sits in the passenger seat, the glow from her terminal illuminating her face. She briefs you on the personal arrangement, but when she turns, she notices that your eyes are distant and unfocused. It's clear to her you are not listening. Chief, you've been distracted ever since we left. Is something wrong? Sorry, there's just something I still can't figure it out. Unease has been gnawing at you since you left. All your questions have been answered, and Clementine has handed over the evidence and leads you needed. So what are you worried about? What did you miss?
Did you look into it? You couldn't find anything, could you? It's only natural. They're just characters I made up after all. Don't worry, I intend to keep our promise. As I said, the book was nothing more than a work of fiction from the very start.
The reference of this event to murder on the Orient Express is heavy at the murder scene. Is that why you were screaming?
What I hoped for when I wrote those words was that perhaps one day, outside the pages of a story, I'd hear someone say them in the real world, too.
There are more than enough clues, yet they all lead to dead ends when it matters. It's as if someone deliberately dangled them before you, only to pull them away the moment you were about to grasp the truth. Guided by instinct, you turn to Nightingale with a question. The other survivor from the Redwood fire. Have we found anything new on them? They are proving difficult to track down. The Public Security Bureau's records only cover up to around 1 year after the fire. There are signs of someone tampering with the archive files, so they've likely been altered too. You have arrived. You step out of the car and enter a house that can only be described as cramped. So much dust. No one's here. Even the windows are boarded up. Clearly no one's lived here in ages, which is strange. Isn't this supposed to be the sheriff address? You scan the room. Only the table by the window stands out. It's suspiciously clean. Barely a trace of dust can be found on it. An envelope sits on the surface. You open it to find nothing but 2 thin sheets of paper. What the? NF-107, Eastside, Satellite Town. Send ship Brava. Passenger list: William Spark, Mary Jones, Charles Banbury, Alison Pedro. A burst of gunfire shatters the still night. What was that? Target under attack. Requesting backup. Request! The sound of gunfire doesn't last long. What follows is something far more unsettling. The sounds of a struggle, interspersed with sharp, ominous crack and snaps. The noise grows louder, mixed with footsteps drawing closer and closer to the villa entrance. A woman steps out of the villa, Her clothes are spotless, her posture elegant. Her right hand, however, is drenched in blood, all the way from the fingertips to the forearm. At her feet, a mangled figure writhes on the ground, barely recognizable. This power. Impossible. How do you have this much mania? Bang. Another bullet pierces his forehead. Oh shit. Another bullet pierces his forehead. Oh, the assassin head lolls to the side, lifeless. The mark on his neck flickers, and it dissolves into a stream of light that flows into Clementine's neck in the next moment. The butterfly taxidermy piece at her neck brims with mania, greedily absorbing life force. The accessory then converts it into even greater power, feeding it back to its master. She senses the mark she's planted. One of them is gradually moving farther away. When they parted, she used her ability to leave a mark on Chief. It's faint, but it's strong enough to track their location. A commotion of this scale cannot be hidden, but that's fine. He's clever enough. He should have found the final piece of the puzzle she left behind by now.
I'm sorry. It seems I'll have to break my promise. I said I wouldn't do anything reckless. But alas, we don't live in a fairy tale. I trust you. You will bring change. And those you help will lead fortunate lives. But it's not enough.
Bullets erupt from the barrel, repelling the shadow that lunged at her one by one. Clementine's body is covered in wounds, yet she continues walking steadily toward the exit and into the rain, gun in hand. It's almost as if she's actually unharmed.
Come to think of it, I never told you how that final story ends. About Preva. About the true ending to Redwood's story.
Fate is merciful. On the night of the fire, not everyone was trapped inside. The adults and older children were out working odd jobs to make ends meet, so the flames never got to them. But fate is also merciless. The cheap wooden walls burned fast, too fast. Those inside could not escape, and those outside could do nothing but watch. And so they were separated by the flames, forever. How unfortunate, said the bystander who witnessed the tragedy. After all, to survive men despair, to survive men homelessness and suffering beyond measure, it was better to have perished in the flames and been done with it all. How fortunate, said the survivor who lived through the fire. After all, to survive meant hope. It meant they still had the chance, the strength to make that bastard pay for what they've done. Oh, they had done. Oh my god, Clementine is having a vampire moment. Is that her power? That night, the surviving adults gathered around a single flickering candle, their faces shrouded in shadow, hidden from the light.
So it was him. Of course. He was the only one who could have gotten inside that night.
They finally found the name. The man was hidden among Redwood's list of sponsors, using his position to suppress any investigation while suffering the victim's suffering from up close.
This is our last chance to get close to him. Let's put it to a vote.
Damn, Grandma, that face! Holy shit! Are you actually have dementia? No, damn it. Grandma has been like the head of the vengeance all along. What Grandma? Really truly watch Murder on the Orient Express, guys. Good movie, good actors. All right, I'll watch it. No one succumbed to despair. Every heart burned with an almost zealous fervor. If their voices are too faint, then they will scream until their throats are torn asunder. If their strength is too meager, then they will claw and fight for every scrap. Bloodied and battered, they will use every tool the powerless possess. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is beyond their reach. Because justice must be served and evil must be punished, even when it means staining their hands. Oh, we have young Clementine. Dawn had barely just broken. The adults had packed their bags at some point, seemingly preparing to leave. Clementine dragged her sickly body forward, trying to stop them.
Dean,
Dean?
where are you going? When will you be back?
I like these. What do you call this? It's not bandan. Bando? What do you call it? No one answered. Their silence spoke for itself. All Clementine received was a gentle hand stroking her head and a few parting words.
Clementine, you're the one we worry about least. Even when we're not around, you must take care of yourself. Wait here, so you can welcome us home.
3 tickets, 3 unwavering resolve. They left the child behind and stepped out into the dawn. With only 3? What about Carl? Yet they never came back. The Senship Preva vanished 17 hours after departure. All passengers remain missing. The girl who was left behind searched for a long time. She ventured into the darkness of his sight, only to find a single ticket and a list.
An eye for an eye. What a hackneyed approach. They couldn't devise anything more clever or sophisticated, so they decided on a scheme straight out of some old novel. But even that didn't work. Hope never existed. Justice never smiled upon us. Beautiful fantasy of eye for an eye only happens in novels. That's why I must seek a different kind of power.
In her most desperate times, another hand reached out to her. Oh no, it's her! Evelyn Gilling. Her name is pretty difficult. I'm sorry, but what you seek is too noble. It is simply something I cannot grant you. No one here is worthy to speak of justice. All I can offer is death. This is the sage of death. But it seems you are not supposed to this power. Oh, you're not opposed to this power. Then take it. There's no need to give anything in return. You've already shown me what true love looks like. Now, use this magic wisely. Your time is running short. I hope you get what you are after. So she's been like, how many times already? Graves, Millie, and then now her, Clementine. Chief, he was an unforeseen variable. At first, she engaged with him only to buy time, waiting for the real prey to take the bait. It should have been over the moment Clementine confirmed that he wasn't a pawn sent by that person. But he was just like the detective she would written about countless times. He would rack his brain over every clue, fighting for those who were denied justice, never resting and never give up. Well, Clementine has that Libram, so... Oh, is she? I haven't checked her Libram because, like, I always check her Sinner profile or Libram after I finish the story, so because sometimes they contain spoiler or surprises. Wait, who's her? She's the Sage of Death, or Death of Sage. So basically the underground have like 4 sages. One of them is Adelaide, which is I think the Sage of Famine. That is the Sage of Death, and she was first introduced I think on Millie's event, if you missed that. She already been hinted since, like, I don't know, when was it? Undercurrent, I think. She was already hinted since Undercurrent, if I'm not mistaken. But finally make an appearance. You can see her full sprite on the Millie's event. Maybe Eve want to create a hole as Death Colony like Voldemort. Chief Quality Comfort like Pokemon. And so Clementine couldn't help but be drawn to stay by his side. accompanying him through those childish challenges meant only to buy time, guiding him toward the truth.
You were right. Vengeance is nothing more than a naive fantasy that exists only in fiction. It costs far too much. Only a fool would try to seek justice through it. But I am a writer at the end of the day. Naivety is allowed to exist in stories. Justice is never absent there. Miracles would happen, and whether born of love or hate, all things have a resolution. Thank you. Thank you for listening to my story, and thank you for showing me that such a world can still exist.
She takes another step forward. The last assassin crumples to the ground. Mania sears her body. It's not the kind of agony any ordinary person could endure. Clementine's vision blurs, yet her other senses are sharpened to the extreme. The butterfly ornament finally drains the last of the life force around. It rests at the side of Clementine's neck, now disturbingly lifelike, as though it might tear free from its pain at any moment and take flight. Oh, so originally I think Chief mentioned that Clementine is a B rank. So I think the butterfly was given by the Eveling, or what's her name? The Sage of Death just now, just like Graves' ring.
And now, it's my turn. I want to give the people I loved the ending they should have had.
She steps forward into the rain.
Time to go. The final chapter awaits.
A man is pacing anxiously, his eyes darting to the terminal screen every so often. On his hand is a ring bearing a prominent family crest. Vines coil around a set of scales symbolizing justice, seemingly in support. Yet, in truth, they are parasitic in nature. They have woven themselves tightly around it, making it their host.
Damn it. No matter how many I delete, they just keep coming.
What is this, Carl? Isn't it Carl Silhouette? He refreshed the page once more. Still no news of the Novelist's arrest.
What the hell is that useless Minos chief doing? I should have known one tip-off wouldn't be enough. Good thing I sent my own people, too.
Just like countless times before. I knew it. Julian's so excited. Did you get it all this time? Just like countless times before. Report, pressure, silence. Even if he makes a mistake, it doesn't matter. The family will shield him. He went to smoke, remember? Oh, right. He thought the last person who knew the truth had gone down with that sand ship. It's been so long now. Why won't she just leave him alone? Why can't she just stay there? Do you mean like on the train? And he have a ring with family crest. Oh, right. Shit, I didn't connect the dot. Damn. The phone suddenly rings. It must be the assassin he sent to tell her. Her answers immediately, but all he hears on the other end is labored breathing. A sense of dread suddenly washes over him, but it's already too late. Oh, no wonder during the scene where Chief explained, Carl was not there. Yeah, Carl was not there. I remember like this one was William. This one is here was it Allison, and then the grandma opened the door with William and Allison, and then they just stab it. There's no Carl. It has been hinted on the CG. Damn.
At long last, I found you.
In the list of Preva passenger. The door suddenly bursts open. The bodyguards are sent flying into the room. Before he can process what's happening, an iron grip closes in around his throat, slamming him to the ground. He struggles to speak, but all that comes out are strangled, incoherent sounds.
Do you remember me? Mr. Charles. Or should I use your old name instead, Carl?
The young children at the orphanage couldn't pronounce Charles properly, so they gave him a nickname that's easier to read, Carl. And this very same Carl, who was once so kind, personally condemned them to hell.
Once you swap our names, my story becomes the truth.
Clementine, I'm sorry. Please spare me. I didn't mean to. We used to get along, didn't we? You'd even bring the children along to tell me stories, remember?
Clementine cuts him off.
Shh.
Listen. The clock just struck 12.
Clementine tosses the gun to the ground, yet the man's expression only grows more terrified. He finds himself unable to move. The strength in his limbs is completely drained, and his eyes are fixated on that eerie, flowing light emanating from the butterfly necklace. The light grows brighter and brighter, and she begins to speak. Her voice is soft and gentle, almost like she's reading a bedtime story.
The midnight bell chimes. Figures emerge from the darkness, stepping into the chamber. Their eyes unwavering, blades gleaming in their hands. The first among them tightens her grip on the blade, its tip hovering just above the sinner's heart. She's waiting for the sinner to open his eyes and see who has come to claim his life.
It was an accident. I didn't want to run, but the fire spread too fast. I was terrified. You know, I've always helped my uncle fund Redwood. I would never do this on purpose.
The sinner awakens in agony. He tries to scream, but a second hand clamps over his mouth. A third presses down on his shoulder. It was then that he realized the time had come for him to pay.
Searing mania spreads across his skin. Under the grip of utter terror, Carl no longer sees Clementine as human. He only sees a monster standing before him.
The first stab. This for the innocent souls who perished in the flames.
She gonna do it 12 times?
They withered before they could bloom. Trapped in the past before they ever had a future.
Wait, you want compensation, right? Money, power, anything you want, I can give you!
Whoa. Through his blurring vision, the woman's figure warps and shifts. The goddess of justice descends. She weighs his sins upon her scales and brings down her blade to pass judgment.
The second stab. This is for the souls who perished in White Sands before they got their revenge. They gave everything to fight injustice, seeking to reclaim justice with their own hands, only to be betrayed once more, buried beneath the sands.
No. No!
Whoa. Holy shit. Once, twice, the needle falls over and over. The butterfly beats its wings frantically, yet it cannot escape. For it has been pinned firmly to the ground.
The seventh and the eighth. The blade falls again and again, blood splattering across the velvet wallpaper of the compartment. The sinner convulses and wails, yet he has still not paid in full. The ninth stab cuts through his skin and flesh. The 10th pierces between the ribs. The 11th splits open the heart.
Dark putrid blood flows without end. The butterfly struggles, grow weaker and weaker until all 12 needles have fallen. Then at last the taxidermy is complete. 8 dead children plus 1 caretaker plus 3 of her friend on a train. Ah, you're 12, damn.
12 cuts of vengeance. 12 lives. A blood debt. Paid in blood.
Dude, that was so good! Why I love Crouch Horror always have good story like I like them and scared. Like, oh, that was so good! Holy shit! When I read that, I legit got goosebumps. Like, oh, look at the people, like. Oh my god, dude. Russ. Who's the other one? I forgot who's the other one. I'll go with LL. You know what? I'm gonna bring Shin just in case.
They will behave.
Okay, you can go back. Now. Oh, the arena is split. Okay, apparently I'm thinking too much. I want to finish this with Clementine. No, let me finish with Clementine. No!
Jade,
Let me finish with
shattered,
Clementine. Why you dying so
cleanse
quick?
this world with this power.
I should have not bring Shin. I mean, like the boss from Silent Snow Hidden Plum makes me cautious, you know. Again, I know cook great stuff. NBC's vehicle rushed through the curtain of rain, racing towards the estate on the outskirts of East Side. Emergency alert. Banbury Estate under attack. M value has exceeded threshold. Confirmed presence of S-class sinner. We need to hurry. At the edge of your vision, flames surge into the sky alongside a pillar of mania. You can't tell who's there. The fire rages, tainted by mania. The flames cannot be quenched by rain. They devour the Banbury Estate inch by inch, burning away every last sin. The woman emerges from the building and tries to take another step, but she stumbles. Only then does she notice the pain at her neck. The butterfly ornament has embedded itself into her body. With no more lives to feed on, it has begun devouring its host. Mania surges in rhythm with her heartbeat, a fever pitch that invades her marrow and tears through her flesh. She can feel the pain. It's the same pain her family once endured in the flames.
Right. She did warn me about
Oh,
this.
Hey, don't you curse my wife? Don't get too worked up when you take your revenge, or the butterfly will lose control and devour you too.
But how could I possibly hold back?
Oh, Mr. E! Mr. E is here. What are you doing here? Mr. E! The blazing inferno continues to roar. No one is alive in the estate anymore, save for one figure standing amid the carnage. Impossible to miss. A man in black, umbrella in hand, spots Clementine and bows his head in a greeting. I feel like Mr. E is now like the new Parma. Like he's a replacement for Parma in a sense. She sends you activating your power, so she asked me to come and extend an offer. You're far too talented to die here. Come and join her while you still have the chance. So smooth criminal. But Clementine simply shakes her head with a smile.
I humbly decline. This is fine.
Minia engulfed Clementine and everything around her like a giant redwood burning in the night. She holds out her hand, watching the flames spiral up her arm before vanishing into the sky. Those days of her past have grown far too distant, so much so that they feel like faded dreams, hazy and indistinct. Only that fire remains vivid in her mind. This kind of reminds me of the ending of Toy Box Terror, where Eve basically also stuck in a fire. Pain and rage pour from her pen, transforming into words. She can never return to the past, yet neither can she move forward. I like how he resembled the real Mr. Smooth Criminal. Her enemy is dead. She has no regret. If she had to say, then... She places a hand on her chest, feeling the mark that connects her to Chief. It is drawing closer, racing toward her.
You're still willing to read my stories next time.
Perhaps I will be able to write a better ending then. You can find a place like this in Eastside. A peak roof, a two-story wooden building. In the backyard stands an ancient tree that rustles in the breeze. It isn't particularly spacious. The red paint on the roof has already begun to peel. The windows always let in drafts, and the aging stairs creak with every step. But none of that mattered. The peeling paint formed pictures if you look close enough, and the broken windows let in the cool summer breeze. If you bounded up the stair laughing, even the creaking wood would sound like a cheerful tune. This is 28 Redwood Lane. This is our home. An elderly woman and her husband opened the orphanage together. She had no children of her own, so every homeless child who came through their doors became hers. She would always tell them to grow like the redwoods, strong, steadfast, and true to themselves. There were a pair of sisters at Redwood. The older sister fell in love with a man who came to work there as a handyman, while the younger chose to venture out in the world. She joined the finest sandship fleet and would bring back the latest and most exciting gift for the children from the satellite towns whenever she returned. So confirm that the sister is not Clementine. The man had a volatile temper, a frightening face, and always struggled to find the right words. His appearance drove many away, but the Redwood welcomed him regardless. There, he slowly learned to open his heart and eventually fell in love. Oh, can we just say like he probably like the Marlowe of this scene or of this event? Not as badass, but at the very least, I don't hate him. The children would run through the courtyard and around the old tree, their laughter echoing throughout the orphanage. Only one thing, one person, could settle them down.
What would you like to hear? Are there any books on the shelf you haven't read yet?
We've already read them all, Miss Clementine. That one! We want to hear the story you wrote last time. Sometimes the storytelling session would attract other listeners as well. Mrs. Jones would sit in the shade, knitting, and Allison would squeeze herself right among the children. William, though he would keep his distance, still listened all the same. Little heads huddled together, paying close attention as their most beloved and trusted Miss Clementine told them the story she had written. The children would laugh, gasp in wonder, and even wipe away a tear or two as the tales unfolded.
Keep going. Keep telling your stories. The adventure goes on, and the tale never ends. Your smiles are my most precious treasure, and the words I write are my path to freedom. Keep writing, Clementine. Perhaps becoming a novelist wouldn't be such a bad dream after all. If only I could stay like this with you all, and keep writing forever.
Clementine slowly opens her eyes. She finds herself on a train, bound for somewhere unknown. Brilliant light spills through the window, its warmth settling over her, making her strangely drowsy. It's almost as if she's been walking for so very long and has finally gotten the chance to rest. Clementine! Miss Clementine! You promised to tell us a story. Why will you stop? The voices come from somewhere unknown, yet they're so achingly familiar that her eyes begins to sting.
Tell a story.
Yeah, you stopped right at the best part last time. The detective was about to reveal who the real bad guy is. Frozen memories began to thaw and return. Yes, she had made such a promise, hadn't she? Are you okay, Miss Clementine?
Don't worry about me. I just had a very, very long dream. There was a great fire in the dream. And you all went away. One by one. I searched for so long, but I couldn't find any of you.
She trails off. A warm hand comes to rest gently on her head. One by one, translucent figures settle down around her. A kind face, a cheerful face, a stern face. Every single one is familiar. She may claim to have forgotten, but they have long been etched in her heart. She hears a whistle in the distance. The train is about to depart, bound for that place of eternal joy and peace.
So, will you come with us this time?
Though, there's someone outside calling for you. Looks like he's trying really hard to bring you back with him.
Is that so?
She made a promise to wait for someone to return. But her limbs feel impossibly heavy, as though they have been filled with lead. Her eyelids weigh down, about to close at any seconds now. Even the strength to speak is slipping away from her.
In that case, you should just rest for a while.
By the time you reach, the scene is already over. All you see are countless dots of light scattered across the sky, the remnants of that goddess of vengeance, and half a torn page. You reach out and catch it. It's the manuscript page Clementine scribbled on in front of you. Some of the ink on the page faded from the heat, revealing the original line of text beneath.
The train finally arrives at the station. One by one, the passengers disembark from the Preva. The shadows that have shrouded their hearts for far too long have finally been lifted. After all these years, they can finally step into the light and walk toward the future.
Sleep well, child. You've been through so much.
Welcome home. Wait, something is on Forensica? Hello there, dear stranger. Have you ever heard of detective novels? At the end of such stories, the detective always catches the culprit and punishes the wicked and speak out in the name of justice. Damn. Let me have a drink first. Wow, that last part. It's been a while that I get to that emotionally to character. It's a sad tragedy, and in a sense, would you call it that's a good ending? In the end, the thing about this kind of thing is like, sure, the vengeance was successful, but it's just not going to return the dead in a sense. You know what I mean? Can I still go around? Oh crap! Damn it. This event was so good, man. It is. It is. My God, they've been on fire on this 4th year. Yay, it ends. It was really good. You should read the profile. Yeah, I'm about to. Everyone crying. You don't have to be crying, Julian. Oh, just wait till you start reading their profile. Well, about to. Okay, here we go. Is it gonna be like extra something? Oh no! Oh my God! Oh my God! It's not because it's long. It's because like usually when something long, that means the writer have a chance to set up something. Right, here we go. Let's start from Allison. Big sis, why didn't the good person take the revenge on the bad person in the end? Little Allison mumbled, staring at the picture book while resting on her big sis' lap. The good person could have gotten revenge, just like how I taught those brats a lesson for making fun of us orphans. Elizabeth smiled and gave her a gentle flick on the forehead. Big sis. Little Allison rubbed her forehead, pouting. You were the one who taught me not to let people look down on us. But I never told you to go pick fight with other kids, did I? Her sister said, laughing. The moral of the story is that people need to look forward instead of living while consumed by hatred. Little Allison sulked and turned away. I don't like this story. The bad person doesn't get punished. It makes me mad. That's because you're still a child. When you truly understand the story, you will be able to live well, even on your own. You'll have grown up by then, and I will be so proud of you. I don't want that. Little Allison buried herself in her sister's embrace, and the two of them tumbled together giggling. I don't want to be alone. I want to stay with you forever. But all too often, a single disaster is all it takes to strip away everything a person holds dear. After that fire that seemed to never end, Allison tasted loss for the first time. In the years following her sister's death, Allison revisited the picture book her sister had read to her as a child, over and over again. But the story she couldn't understand as a child remained incomprehensible to her, even as an adult. She couldn't understand why her sister had to die so tragically before her eyes. She couldn't understand why the culprit was able to walk free just like that. She couldn't understand why the victims were the only one who had to suffer. She couldn't understand why the law wouldn't allow taking an eye for an eye. I also doesn't understand with this part here. And so she decided if she couldn't get answers, she would look for them on her own. Using her connection at work, she obtained news that the culprit would soon board a sand ship. Before that happened, she gathered everyone who burned with the same fury and helped them slip aboard. Her plan was meticulous and calculated. They would spike Carl's drink with sleeping pills and at the stroke of midnight carry out the execution together. But they failed. As flames consumed her body in searing agony, Alison's mind became clearer than ever before. The pain was like a dull blade, stabbing into her memories again and again. The deafening screams in the inferno brought her back to that unbearable night. Was this the same suffering her sister endured before she died? Charred fragments drifted in the endless expanse of the white sand after the explosion. Bone and blood mixed with ash, falling toward the distant horizon. Among them, a small singed page from a picture book floated away sullenly in the light of the flames. I'm sorry, sis. I still couldn't understand that story. I still couldn't become of the sister you will be proud of. I'm curious why it's failed though. Should I read Clementine last? Okay, I'm just gonna read it from. Oh, I didn't read it a lot. Did I miss the part? Oh shit. I know out here Categorian. Mrs. Jones woke from her dream once again, startled. The fire in the fireplace had long gone out, leaving only dark red embers there. She didn't get up to add more wood, simply watching as the flickering light on the ceiling faded away bit by bit. Everything in the dream remained vivid. Children running through the courtyard, all wearing the sweaters she would knitted by hand, some green, some blue, some a deep maroon. She would spend an entire autumn knitting those warm sweaters, and the children treasured them so dearly that they never wanted to take them off once they put them on. Go in order? Okay, after this. It all felt like yesterday. It felt like everything could go back to the way it was, but that simply wasn't possible, not after that fire. The dozens of young lives it had consumed will never return. Guilt crashed against her aging heart like waves day and night. The thought tormented her, kept her from sleep. If hadn't left that day, would none of this have happened? If I'll found someone more reliable to keep watch over the orphanage, or if I would never taken the children in to begin with, would they have been spared from dying in flames? Sometimes in moments of delirium, she would see her hands covered in blood. She believed that she had killed the children with her own hands. Jones had stood on the rooftop countless times, but she would always think of Clementine, that child who had grown up too fast and cared too deeply. If she were left all alone in this world, how would she live on? The culprit was never caught. The case was hastily closed and shelved. The victim's family had no avenue for appeal. Their effort obstructed in secret, leaving them to investigate on their own. The result was shocking, for someone had deliberately concealed the truth. That name, far beyond everyone's sight, belonged to the real arsonist who had fled in panic that day. It was a name she recognized. He is a young man who used to come with their benefactor, who brought candy for the children, who once sat in her living room drinking tea, smiling as he said what a lovely place this was, that it was just like his home. The ball of yarn slipped from her hands. The maroon thread rolled away, leaving a long trail like a wound that wouldn't stop bleeding. From the day she learned the truth, all that pain inside Jones, all that pain with nowhere to go, had finally found a direction. The day she boarded the train, Clementine stood before her. "Are you really going? How long will you be away for?" Clementine asked. Jones didn't answer. She simply clutched the slip of paper in her pocket tightly. Written in it was the plan she would memorize countless times. Before departure, she would cut out a threatening letter from a newspaper. At 0 on the second day, leave the room and quietly kill that person. After returning to the room at 1:20 a.m., claim that someone had broken in to disrupt the investigation. Clementine's voice broke through her thought. "My sweater's torn. When you come back, could you knit me a new one?" Jones looked at her. Her gaze swept across that young face, finally settling on the cuffs of the sweater. She should have smiled and nodded like she had countless times before, saying, "Of course, I will knit you one when I get back." But Jones knew she wouldn't be coming back. She didn't respond to Clementine. She simply moved forward, step by step, toward the door, toward the point of no return. Perhaps her life should have been given back to those children long ago. She would kept them waiting far too long. They must be getting impatient by now. Outside the pages of her books, Clementine loved telling stories as a child. She told tales of police and criminals, of how good people hunted down evil, of how justice would eventually prevail. The children at the orphanage gathered around her, their eyes shining with wonder, and the more captivated they became, the more animated she grew as she spoke. Someone asked her, "Do you want to be a police officer when you grow up?" "No," Clementine said. "I want to be someone who writes stories. I want everyone to know what happens to bad people in the end." Then the fire came. Elizabeth died. The children the children who had gathered to hear her story died. The rest of her family who had survived all that. Only she remained. She spent years pursuing the truth. She couldn't stop because every time she closed her eyes, she saw their faces. In the flames, in the white sands, in places she could never reach. Eventually, she found it, but she also knew that with her strength alone, she couldn't touch that person. So she would write a book, one that would tell a tale of the truth. Late into the night, she sat at her desk with pages covered in dense writing. As she wrote, she would pause and speak to the characters beneath her pen. "If I saw vengeance against the criminal, will you stop me?" she asked the little detective in her story. The character didn't answer, but another voice did. "Seek vengeance against the criminal? Are you not but a criminal yourself in this plan?" The true culprit, the Clementine in her novel, laughed loudly in her mind. In the darkness, a figure surfaced in her heart. It was a phantom who embodied justice, pure, untainted justice that required no life in exchange. "If only you truly existed," that's what she thought. Then she lowered her head, picked up her pen, and continued writing. It was Grandpa what? Oh, is it Julian plays is raining? Okay, what is Forensica role in this part? As a medical consultant for renowned crime novelist. Oh, she's a consultant for that. So basically, Clementine is fact-checking about the science. Forensica had far fewer clients than one might expect. Poverty forced her to live in a cramped basement apartment. All of this could be attributed to her personality. Rather than calling her eccentric, it was more accurate to say she only worked with those who truly wanted to uncover the truth. Today ages, people don't want to know the truth. It's hard. You have to always, pat people in the back even though you're lying. Otherwise, you just got hated. As for those looking for shortcuts, trying to gloss things over, or those who would ask her to embellish the report just a little, she drove them all away without mercy. As one of the few clients who earned her recognition and maintained a long-term partnership, Clementine often posed particularly thorny questions to her. Questions related to things such as the varied manifestation of cyanide poisoning, analysis of the causes behind blood spatter, weight patterns, knowledge related to corpse preservation in frozen condition. And every time she would ask such questions, it was for the modus operandi in her next book. To ensure viability, Forensica would bury herself in her basement time and again, running experiments, committing her own money and time, never once getting tired of the work. Clementine sometimes thought she was probably the only person in this black market who approached methods of murder as an academic subject, and Forensica was probably the only person in this street willing to provide information with genuine diligence. Did she know that her story drew inspiration from reality? Clementine didn't care. What mattered to her was that her medical consultant shared the same stubborn conviction with her, that they both believed every life deserved the truth. I mean, from this part, I believe If Forensica even knows, she's just probably gonna let it. So I passed the beer, guys. The less you know, the better you sleep. Just gulp the drink and cry yourself to sleep. This guy. What is your defense, man? Carl never thought he would become a bad person. In the profit-obsessed world of Banbury, he was the child who never fit in. Weak, sensitive, anything but ruthless. His brother mocked him for being soft-hearted, and his father's eyes held nothing but disappointment. So he learned to run away, following his philanthropist uncle to the Redwood orphanage on the city outskirts. It was his only shelter. The children would gather around him. No one criticized him for speaking too softly. No one mocked him for being too kind. He helped prepare furniture, read to the children, occasionally brought them candy and pastry. In those moments, he truly believed that he was a good person. A coward, perhaps, but a kind-hearted one. At least he was better than those cold-blooded family members of his. That day, the children convinced him to stick around even though it was getting late. Deep into the night, after coaxing the most restless child to sleep, he stepped into the hallway for a cigarette. When he finished, he carelessly flicked it away and left. He would barely made it outside when the fire started. By the time he looked back, the entire orphanage had become a massive torch. The flames reached the skies. Thick smoke billowed out from the building and screams pierced the air. He wanted to go back, but his feet wouldn't move. Once again, cowardice won. His mind raced with fear. What if they found out? What if someone reported him? What would the family think? Will his father disown him? That sounds very selfish, to be honest. Under the Redwood's watchful gaze, he fled in panic. Banbury covered for Carl and buried the incident. To them it was a trivial matter. The victims were nothing more than a few orphans and caretakers. Oh, what a piece of shit. Greased the right palms and no one would ask questions. The matter quickly settled, but Carl found no peace. Over the years, Carl was plagued by recurring dreams. There were always flames, and among the revenants in the fire, young faces would surround him, calling out to him, trapping him in an endless nightmare. When he looked in the mirror, his own face seemed to grow unfamiliar. He would quickly avert his gaze, telling himself it wasn't intentional. I'm a good person. I was just afraid, that's all. Then word of the survivor movement reached him. He realized someone was investigating that fire. Someone was looking for the culprit. Someone refused to let it go. For the first time, Carl panicked. He didn't understand. Why wouldn't they just let it go? It had been so long. Everyone was already dead. What more did they want? What were they trying to do? Make him pay with his life? Destroy him? He was terrified. Terrified of being found. Terrified of being pilloried. Terrified of losing everything he had now. So, boom. The sand ship with the Redwood survivor aboard exploded. The light of flames poured through the windows, casting Carl's reflection in the glass with perfect clarity. It was a face he would never seen before. Sunken eyes, twisted mouth, an expression mixing fear, rage, and resentment. Yet, upon closer inspection, it was still his face. That face seemed to burn in the glass. The features contorted, eyes hollow like a demon crawling out of hell. Carl stared blankly, suddenly realizing he had been smiling the entire time. So that was it. From the very beginning, he was never a weak but good person. All that gentleness, all that kindness, they were nothing more than an act to make himself feel good. When the true trial came, he chose to run, chose silence, chose to become complicit. He would lead the fire with his own hands, then watch as it swallowed everything. He wasn't a good person. He was just a coward, one who was lucky enough to never have had to face consequences. But now that reckoning had come, a face uglier than anyone was revealed. Consumed by greed, indifferent to life, unscrupulous in his methods, utterly unrepentant, he was a demon walking among men. He would have been wrong about himself from the very start. He just never realized it. What the hell? Wait, so did he purposely or... I mean, when I was reading that, I was like have this for a second, I was have a thought like, if only you immediately confess your crime, I would have not think that this bad of him. And then until the second part of his story, like, and he purposely to like, what? I'm still quite confused. Like, what did he explode the sand ship? Is that what happened? And he did it on purpose. So that moment on, I was like losing it. Like, no, this guy doesn't deserve any empathy anymore. Carl. Carl says, so for now we will have Carl type of character too. Well, yeah, unlucky coward type. He made accident. Cover it, realize he's psychopath. I mean, the moment, here's the thing though, the moment that the fire was started, the first thing that he thinks is like his own fate. Like, what happened? Is he gonna be like jail? Is the father gonna disown him? Not like try to save the children, you know? What the people that care about the children, everything. He just immediately think about himself, which is in a sense is probably like the very definition of is it psychopath or sociopath? I don't quite understand the difference, but yeah, you'll get the full picture when you read William profile. Ragnar is insane. Marlo is my type. Julian is just like out of topic every time. A sharp blade cut through the air, plunging deep into William's shoulder. Blood sprayed across the dark alley. Heavy fists pounded into his face, one blow after another, shattering his nose bone piece by piece. This was just another day in gang warfare. Violence and blood were their only language. They had no regard for life, viewing the weak as nothing more than insect beneath their feet. They lived by violence, and they would die by it. William's vision began to blur as the beating continued. His consciousness started slipping away. Perhaps death was drawing near. Maybe it's fine to die like this, he thought. This life was never worth much anyway. Why is there so much blood? Quick, the bleeding stopped. He's still moving. Get him back to the orphanage. It was a delicate, frantic voice. Before losing consciousness, William only managed to glimpse white fabric stained crimson. He wanted to say, don't bother, you will ruin your clothes, but blood foam surged up his throat. He couldn't speak at all. Later, he learned that the girl who saved his life that day was named Elizabeth. She was an orphan living at the Redwood orphanage and a medical intern who often treated the children there. When William recovered from his injuries and came to express his gratitude, Elizabeth simply offered him a curt reminder. Don't let yourself get hurt like this again. Next time there won't be anyone to patch you up. She turned and walked away. William stood there, stunned for a long while. Was that her awkward way of showing concern? William didn't know, but from that day on, he became a regular visitor at the Redwood orphanage. He would use his menacing appearance to intimidate the children into eating their vegetables, and Elizabeth would rope him into playing the enforcer to trick the kids into getting their vaccination. That's actually a good one. I think that's the time that they're going to bond and fall in love. More often than not, though, he will simply sit by corridor, silently watching that figure frame in the window, bathed in the golden sunlight. When his eyes no longer saw only blood and violence, William discovered he could perceive so much more. He noticed that little Annie always stood on her tiptoes when measuring her hay. Noticed that someone kept stealing a few pieces of fruit from the yard. Noticed that some troublemaker had hidden Mrs. Jones' denture in the kitchen. Why? Most importantly, he noticed that Elizabeth, the one who held his heart, seemed to look at him a little differently now. Aww. And so William left behind his days of fighting and killing, becoming part of the Redwood orphanage. He thought life would continue this way, but fate played a cruel trick on him. A massive fire burned away all his hope. From that day forward, William felt as though his time had frozen at the moment of the fire, never to move forward again. William contacted his old connection and learned about the influential family obstructing the victim's relative from seeking justice. He boarded that sand ship headed for distant lands. Before that, they had planned meticulously. At midnight, they would enter the room through a hidden door and kill Carl. But they never expected him to have anticipated their move. In that moment of the explosion, the searing heat scorched William's skin. He felt the locket clutch in his hand burning like red-hot iron in the intense heat. Yet on the photo inside, the two of them were still smiling. He thought if flames took her away, then surely they could take him to wherever she was now. William closed his eyes, letting the flames consume his body completely. Okay, so the only explanation that I get that he anticipated him. So does it mean that he is not in the sand ship, or he's in the sand ship and he prevented? I have no idea. All of this, here's the thing, all of this just because you throw a freaking cigarette randomly. That's why. Stop smoking. Smoking kills. Not even the one who smoked it. Okay? Don't do that. This is like good lesson. Oh god. I wish they show Elizabeth, but knowing I would imagine Elizabeth probably gonna looks like Allison. I'm just imagining like they are twins or something. You know. Yeah. What's going on here? I think I already said that I'm a girl 2 days ago. I'm still in shock. I'm still in shock about the story, guys. What the hell? But it's been a while. Wow, this is so good. I mean, it I don't know why. Should I say like it's doesn't feel like Path to Nowhere in a sense? And I would love to be honest. I would love to if they're doing this type of story again. Something's not just simply dealing with many all the time. Being a detective like this is actually fun. Carl knew about the sand ship plan, exploded the ship. Yeah, but the question is like, is he on the ship or he was not on the ship? How did he explode the ship? Because the ship is already go, right? If I'm not mistaken, during the story, the passenger, there was Carl in the passenger. I remember like the paper that Chief found on the empty house. Pretty sure there was Carl name in there. So that means he was in the ship. What I'm amazed is since it got reference from Agatha Christie, I thought they just gonna rely on that, but no, they made it make their own masterpiece. Okay, okay, Julian? Since like you've been like quite excited since the first episode of the thing with the time, the 05, the 053 or 150. What is it that you're expecting? Because I don't really read Agatha Christie. So how is that version goes? Is it what the Express that you mentioned, the movie? But to be honest, like if they're actually like copy like apple to apple from the Agatha Christie, I think it will not be fun, you know. Wouldn't you call it like a plagiarism also? Dun dun dun. Daughter is dead. The work is public property. Is those event that looks like a skippable filler that hit the most. Remember Millie? Indeed. It only give you like a very maybe small relevance in sense with the appearance of Evelyn. Forgot what's her name. Evelyn and Mr. E. But that's the thing. If you skip, the thing is like you will not get like the whole story if you skip like smaller event like this. That's why don't ever skip. It's so good. This year I would give it for this year. Wait, Millie even is last year, right? Millie event is last year, right? Before the Shattered Blade. Okay, so this year, this one is quite high tier for this year contender of like the best event. I would say standalone story. Wait, what's the other story like? Hidden Plum, Sito, and then Hilda. Hilda is actually quite good though. Hilda is actually pretty similar. However, I feel more detective-like in this one, and it's short. Hilda is really long. I to be honest, like I don't quite like the part where we have to die over and over again. It kind of like remove consequences in a way, like give you like the Dragon Ball Z effect in a sense, and I don't like that. But overall, Hilda is actually good. But I think overall as a detective story or mystery, this one is triumph that. On this event, yeah, I just mentioned it just now. I will say this one so far on this year, since we start the 4th year, this one's still my favorite by far. It's kind of like down tier Hilda's event in a sense. Yep, if author is dead, his writing is public property and cultural heritage. But in the scene where Chief checked the clock is like how Hercule Poirot check time because habit. He was the summer event. Who? Oh, you mean Millie? Oh yeah. Exactly. So to be honest, it's fine if someone take many reference from Agatha Christie, kinda apple to apple. Actually, I thought this Annie's story is F tier. Annie's story? You mean the 3.5? You mean the Jich one? Those who read Echoes and Dove Interrogation will understand. Hey, what? You mean wait? You mean the Hidden Plum? Yes, Jich one. Really that bad? Why? I mean, like I would say it's how to put it. I like the character, the representation of the character a lot. Like the vibe in a sense, the vibe, and then like the many appearance with the Chinese culture and everything. Although I would agree the story probably not as strong, but I don't think I would put it on F tier. Grandma shock. I'm choked. I think this event is great for now because it matches pretty an agenda of supernatural, street criminal. But the thing is, like, we don't really have supernatural things until like the part where Clementine was trying to kill Carl, though, which is why it makes you feel a bit more realistic in a way. Okay, maybe mid, but I'm upset with how they portray Jichuan. Which part of Jichuan that you don't like? I think Jichuan, or at the first not Jichuan, the Schwanger. Schwanger is very fine character. I mean, like, it's very fun character, Schwanger. The better grammar, because you are curious, just watch the movie. You can see the reference then. I'll definitely, yes. What's the title again? The Orient Express, you said? Is it like an old movie? Murder on the Orient Express. Yeah, okay. I'll definitely watch it. The book is old. The movie is relatively new. The new version. Also, there is like new made or a reboot. It's hard to put it on one side, but basically her disease feels very fake. Feels very fake. The thing about Jichuan disease is the one that I don't understand At first, I thought Jichuan disease was like not related to mania in a sense, but apparently it is suddenly at the end, which is why we need the shackles. So that's the part that I got lost at first. Grandpa, I don't know, it's just cute. Okay, by the way, I still don't know what is her power. Let's take a look at her power. Sundere Grandpa. I need like 10 paragraphs to explain, sorry. Okay, sure. I understand, like when you're trying to give like I don't think it's called textual, but criticism in this is a fair thing to not be able to explain it in one sentence. Okay, the subject can connect with other living beings through mania, probing their deepest desire and interfering with their psyche. While the ability is active, bite marks, shape, corruption marks appear on the target body, gradually fading over time. Also, she doesn't have to bite. That's kind of disappointing. Can we play dress up game, Grandpa? Are you for real? Are you seriously asking that, or the subject awakened as a sinner in her early years. The catalyst of her awakening remains unclear. She claims to have been infected during field research, though the veracity of the statement is yet to be verified. The subject displays mild corruption, but notable mutations are present in the ears and oral cavity. Activation of her ability to use severe neuropathic headaches, requiring medication for relief. Chronic sleep disorder and her dependence on pharmaceuticals have formed vicious cycle, placing her psychology function at risk of potential collapse. For real. Yeah, no, but aren't you curious how your style or sense of fashion is? No. I know my fashion sense. My fashion sense is like formal suit, just the one like I'm currently wearing. I play this online game called Final Fantasy 14, and I basically wear the same like literally my looks is what I am right now. It's the same suit. Despite of like a lot of glamour on the game, like you can wear like heavy armor and everything, I always wear a suit everywhere. That is my fashion sense. I'm a very simple guy. We need dress up game or we will call you Sundari Grandpa. At TP just play Roblox. I don't play Roblox. Yeah, I watched the live stream back then, never changed skin. See, I told you. When I like something, I'm gonna wear it all the time. Oh yeah, I think it's really a long time ago. It's really a long time ago. I think there's nothing else. I think there's nothing else that we can do now. I'm probably gonna do the challenge off stream. Yeah. So, oh, you know what? Let's just pull, because like I'm gonna close this with a pull because I did a test today for the video guide, and gosh, it is so strong with Xiaofeng. Like it, oh my god. I can't believe that she's so strong with Xiaofeng, to the point that it increased my what do you call it, score on title passes, like freaking 30 million. So I would like, god damn it, I'm gonna get Shackle 1. That game, I think it's 1 or 2 years ago. Yeah, it's really long time. I think I played during the during the new expansion. Casino? What is Casino? Kaiser Casino? What the hell Casino? That sounds like freaking Italian mafia. Let's do this. I'm gonna after for Shackle 1. And then after that I'm gonna off. Okay, I'm gonna Forensica here. If I'm lucky, I'm probably gonna like freaking S5 Forensica also, just for the sake. Because I believe the next sinner is true damage. And I don't know, it's a bit confusing what she did, so Her grandpa is kinda mafia. I mean, he looks familiar with Fraser even at I'm not a mafia, I'm a good guy. Oh, there you go. There you go. What I mean is like we have to handle, we have to win the 50-50.
Happy about catching someone like me.
If possible, I'd like to stay in the kitchen.
Finally found it. It's fine.
Go, Levi.
Forensica.
Forensica.
Pathologist.
Truth is a danger.
Is that her? Nice. I didn't spend too much. Woo! I think I'm gonna try her again with her shackle one and see if I can do 100 billion. this her shackle one is so good. It looks so good. I'm tempted. Oh, shackle 5, yay! Nordler, have you know what Block Blast is, Grandpa? Oh yeah, I checked it yesterday. Is it like a freaking Tetris? I don't know. I just see like people that is block, and then people match it, and then kind of explode when it has the same color. It is right? Okay, right. But I don't understand though. Like I think Turbo mentioned something like there's a lot of word. What? Why? I don't get it. That Turbo comment yesterday when he said there's a lot of word. Like where's the word here? This is like Tetris. So yeah. So I don't get it. Like how can you get 500k? Like how long does it take to get 500k? That is crazy. I don't have any passion for that. So with Echo and Dove, they used the actual real disease as or disorder, and their story was revolving around their unique experience with getting over their disease. Oh, I remember Echo. I think what's Echo disease? Is it like because he's tone deaf or something like that? I think I'm in my flow that at the moment. And with Jichuan, it feels like her disease is just used to create fake flaw to kiss her ass for the millionth time. It doesn't even have a name. Oh, they only explain it like she has a disease since a kid. I talk about profiles.
The deadline looms.
I totally get it,
Words aren't
but
flowing.
disease is like,
I'm not in the right headspace. I'll only make mistakes.
because like if the disease was caused by mania, then
Perhaps I should
maybe
just relax for today.
maybe that's kind of explain it. It's like the kind of disease that cannot be explained. But I think I understand what you're saying. Okay, so I think Order doesn't really like the fact that the disease don't play much role despite it being her background. I don't know, guys, I'm just rambling. Was it really just a background? I think I have to go through like Jichuan character again with that part. So you're saying like the disease is like some sort of, don't you think like the disease kind of like resemble of Goku League in a sense? Because like after at that point that Jichuan can't really use her ability that often again according to her interrogation. That is why she was being put in like more strategy team. If you think about it, what is the difference between her and deteriorating sinner? That's exactly the same. I think that's the point. Like this is exactly the same. This is why exactly why about Jichuan. Like I thought the disease has nothing to do with mania. I'm correct. Why you sound surprised? which is why I think at the time I was kind of like disagreeing with I remember like I was kind of disagreeing with Vesper. Vesper said like, okay, you should should just shackle her, but the thing is like at the time my impression was the disease was not related to mania, which is why what's the point of shackles. But at the point of the ending, somehow shackles can hold her disease, which make her survive for a bit, which is why I was kind of like, oh, okay, so the disease is because of the mania. And I think even the doctor of Jichuan was also explained it's caused by mania, which is, I would, now that I consider it, it's kind of like inconsistent. Let's do another Jichuan video, this time about her background. Her disease. But it's true though that it never been mentioned, and somehow, and also like even the medicine and everything is just kind of like randomly mentioned. And no, I'm not talking about the part where she said it on the ending. The one that doctor said, or what's her name? Yu Yansheng mentioned it. Let's do it for this. Now you do it. Why don't we just ask Forensica for do that? Okay. You know what? I'm gonna close it. You guys make me talk even more. I was just going to close it, but you guys just keep giving me more things to discuss. But yeah, I'm gonna go back to making the guide video, so I have to close it here. So thank you all for coming. Before Grandpa having so many RQ. Okay, well, anyway, thank you all for coming. It's really a good event. It was very thrilling, mystery and all. Yeah, I think all of you also enjoyed. Yeah, so far with the 4th year event, like most of the time, like I really enjoyed so much, regardless of like or they mentioning something half anniversary being met. Yeah, so looking forward with the next event. I think the next event is gonna be fun. In a sense, if you haven't been spoiled yet, we're probably gonna have like a Bianca kind of character, you know. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. So yeah, thank you all for coming, and I will see you on the next stream. Until then, please take care and have a good night. Bye bye.